All right, everyone. So a little light day for wrestling news, but we do have three good videos for you. So Chad Gable makes a big title admission. John Cena, he signed a contract that has him past his farewell date with WWE. So we'll see what that is. And WWE makes a big little Roman Reigns removal of on the SmackDown promotion. What is all that about? So that is all included in this video. Thank you. Enjoy. Right, everyone. So it looks like WWE has just removed Roman Reigns from SmackDown advertising for a certain date. So on August 9th, WrestleOps tweeted out this: Roman Reigns has been confirmed for the first episode of SmackDown on USA Network on September 13th, 2024 in Seattle, Washington. So that's what they tweeted out on August 9th. They now followed it up today, and it says, and has now been removed from advertising. So no one really knows what this means. You would guess it would mean that he's not going to be there unless they're thinking of having him a surprise appearance or something like that, because it does say at the bottom of this image that they posted, it says talent subject to change. So that could be the case, but this certainly will be a big blow to a show that it's going to be their first SmackDown in USA Network. Roman Reigns is one of the stars that everybody wants to see, but I do think this may create a little bit more mystery, a little bit more hype, versus if you just say he's going to be there, people may care just a little bit less, right? So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. All right, everyone. So John Cena went on Club Shay Shay podcast, and he talked about his future with WWE. Here is one quote. We're reading a tweet from Covalent TV. I love the company. It is my home. They are my family. Even after 2025, I've already signed an extension to remain a member of the WWE family for the near, mid, and long term future. I don't think there will be a beat of my heart where WWE blood doesn't come out of it. So he's planning on staying with WWE even after his farewell tour. Now, obviously, I think that means that's the end of his in ring time, but I guess he could still show up and do other things. You just get the feeling anytime there's one of these farewell tours in wrestling that it's actually not going to be the end. It's actually going to be, just the beginning of a whole new chapter. And then, 5 years later, he comes back and he's doing something again. But nobody really cares because we just are like, John Cena's back. There's going to be so much hype behind this farewell tour. So we're just going to embrace it, regardless if we think he's going to come back or not. And, there's all these different deals. Like, I know Undertaker has one, and I think they call them Legends deals and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of things that even older wrestlers who are retired can still be a part of the company and still under contract with the company. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can actually do with Cena outside of the ring. Can they find a way to really get him involved in storylines if this is the case every once in a while that don't require him to be a wrestler, because we haven't seen much of that from Cena to this point. We haven't. It's not like we've seen Cena like, oh, he could be a GM here or something like that. He's known for the in-ring stuff, and not that he doesn't do great promos, because he does, but it will be a different vibe knowing, hey, Cena's actually never going to get in the ring with this guy that he's cutting a promo on or that he's fighting with. So I just hope that they do a good job of giving people what they want over this next year, because this is something that, if this is the last time Cena actually wrestles in the WWE, you want to know that we saw most of the matches that people wanted to see. We want to know that that farewell tour was just full of really good stuff. And if it kind of disappoints, I think that's really going to be, it's not going to be a knock on Cena's career. The guy is going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, regardless. But it's still just going to be a disappointing end to what was a fantastic career. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next. So we've been covering a lot of Chad Gable because I really like his character and I think it's going places. So on a recent podcast, he talked about the fact that he hasn't won a singles title yet, and this is what he had to say. I hope so. I feel like I am disappointed in the fact that I didn't grab one during the whole run, because I also don't want to give the fans the impression that, like, well, he's great, but he's also just the guy that can't win the big one, where I know I am and I know I can. But what this is doing is, I think, for me, building that first one to mean almost as much as maybe it's ever meant for anybody. I've come so close so many times. The Gunther stuff, what it did for my career, what Gunther did for my career can't be overstated. I have him to thank so much for the way he elevated me. Then moving on to the stuff with Sammy, from a storytelling perspective alongside the in-ring perspective, we got so much accomplished in such a short amount of time. I feel like for both of us, it left just the right amount on the table for me as a singles guy to be like, he did so much there. He got so much done, but he didn't win the championship. So we've got one piece of the puzzle left to fill in. And I'm almost happy it didn't happen then because what we got done there, it didn't need it. I didn't need it, but now I do. And so now it's still on the table. So Chad Gable makes it pretty clear that he wants, a singles title. But I think part of this is just what I took after reading it, is as WWE fans, how much does somebody winning or losing a title really matter? Like to me, when you see this great story, right? Like the let's take Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns and just talk about this WrestleMania. Obviously Cody won the title. He won the title and he was off for the races, finished his story. But does anybody really care about like that aspect of it to the point where you're like, whoever wins is the one we really care about? Like everybody realizes that the story couldn't have been what it was without Cody Rhodes, and it also couldn't have been what it was without the bloodline. Right? You need the winner and the loser to make the story work. You can't have two winners. You have to have it that way. So even what Chad Gable is saying here, like it should be less, and I think he gets this about what he said at the bottom. I think it should be less about people going, well, he just can't win the big one, and more as fans realizing, well, that doesn't really matter. I mean, he is building great storylines regardless of the title. It's almost easier to build a good storyline with a title that you're winning, right? That's the easier version. The hard part is to kind of build these great storylines and then have them lead to a title. So I can see his frustration, and we'll see if he gets one. But certainly, I don't think title number really matters in the sense that it means like, oh, this guy can't do this, he can't do that. I think the truth is, if you get people excited for the match, then you succeeded. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.